What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Ocular Deletus, or their version of a Masterpiece Scale Scrapper. So I'm pretty excited about these. I'm getting these for myself, for my collection, and I really love the engineering that Ocular uses, and this one is no exception. It's got some really cool engineering. There's a couple things you need out of the box that I didn't show in the unboxing, so I'm going to show it here. First, the heels need to be connected to the feet. So if you come to the inside of the leg, open up this panel, flip this open, you'll see there's a little hidden heel piece right here that's going to attach the toe to the back of the heel. It's going to connect right there. So close this up, tab that in, close that back up. Now the heel moves with the toe. All right, go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Open that up, flip open your tab, close that back down, make sure it tabs in here, and then close that up. Now we got working feet. The next thing is a little fix. So on this side of the arm, there's supposed to be a little display panel, but it actually opens up the wrong way. It's supposed to open up the other way. So what you're going to do is pull that off, grab this, and pull it out. Slide it back in the other way. Then you'll take this cover and just clip that back on. And now it's installed correctly. Since we just fixed that, might as well look at the feature. It's pretty cool. It's got some nice metallic blue paint. A little, almost looks like a calculator or a keypad. That's very cool built-in feature there. Let's go over the articulation. The head is on a rotating swivel. It's pretty high. It gets all the way up to there. If you want, you can lift up the neck to get way down. Nice for a big character like this to be able to look down more. And it rotates around. Nice head sculpt. I like the head sculpt. Shoulders rotate around on a friction joint. Nice tight tolerances. Everything is nicely toleranced. Nothing's too loose or too tight. Out to the side on friction. This shoulder has to be configured correctly when you transform it. So just make sure it's in the center like this. If you have it over here, then you've got it wrong. Rotation at the bicep at a cut joint. I'm not sure I love the fact that they used a cut joint there, but it does give a lot more articulation. You get double jointed elbow, full bend. Rotation at the wrist. You have the bottom three fingers are separate, but the top finger is on three pins. So you get a pointing finger out of that if you want. And then the thumb is on a ball joint and a pin. So he can have some nice posing with the fingers. I'm glad they added that. They normally don't put that much articulation to the hands, so that works nice. Coming out of the waist, you have a waist rotation on a ratchet. Rotates all the way around. Ab crunch gets you down to there. It's really nicely done. It does kind of lock in place. There's two tabs here to kind of hold him. So that's good. Hip skirts move out of the way. There is some nice paint down here on the chest and on the hip skirts. Front and back will move out of the way. Legs will kick up to there, past 90 on a ratchet, back to there on a ratchet, out to the side on a ratchet. You don't see that a lot these days. Outer ratchet. That's really good. Rotation at the thigh to cut joint. Again, I'm not loving cut joints, but it's okay because it does give you the full articulation. You get the double jointed knee, full bend. A lot of people have been complaining about the knee. I don't really think it's an issue. I think it looks okay. You know, you did get a double jointed knee out of it, so for utilitarian purposes, I think it's okay. I do think the cut joints at the thigh look a little strange, but not a big deal. Coming out of the feet, you have ankle tilt. Once you connect the toe to the heel, it all moves together. Goes pretty far out, all the way up to there. And you get a toe tilt down and a little bit toe tilt up. We can modify the shovel on the back if you want a more G1-y look. So you're going to pull this out. Basically, it's plugged in here and here into the backpack. And hold here, pull out on this. That'll separate this joint here. So we can get this flipped around. And then we're going to collapse these. Collapse the center section, which will allow you to collapse these outer sections in and make the shovel, that much smaller. Then you're going to bring this down, and these will fold flat on the back. This will come down, peg back in on this side. You've basically flipped it upside down. And let's see. Keep doing that. Bring this up, bring this one down. These two tabs just kind of sit in here, so as you slide it back down, they should fit into these two little slots there. So slide that down, it'll click in place. And can we get one more click? No. Here we go. That's basically it. If it went a little bit lower, I think it'd be a little more accurate, but that's about the best you can do. You've got these two little peg pieces that get in the way, so that kind of prevents it from going any more forward. But you do have the smaller shovel, and it's kind of in line with the head. For the accessories, we get his blaster done in just black plastic. It's got a nice sculpt to it. You're going to open up the handle, and just like all the other Ocular Max figures, it'll just tab into the back of the palm, and that looks good. That works well. We also get his trumpet done in this bronzish gold color, and this will also fit in the hand. I will say, I think the way Fans Toys did it, it does look pretty cool with the chrome, gold chrome. But this works fine too. And you can get it positioned because of the double jointed elbow and the articulation that he's got. You can get it positioned right above the mouth perfectly. So that works very well. And for some size comparisons, there it is next to the Magic Square version of Optimus Prime. And I thought it was important to bring in the Takara Megatron just so you can see how they fit. And he is still shorter than Megatron, which is important to me anyway. I'd like that they're nice, big Constructicons, but they need to be smaller than him. And so this works. This works for me. All right, for another comparison I think people want to see, there it is next to the Fans Toys Gary, their version of Scrapper. And I am going to do a full comparison on these two, so I'm not going to spend too much time here. But I will say I prefer the proportions and the sculpt on the Ocular Max. I think it just looks a little more cohesive and more like the character. This guy's a little bit too chunky. But I really like the paint they chose on this guy. The metallic paint just really stands out. There's a little bit of paint on this guy, but we're going to do a full comparison, so I don't want to spend too much more time. All right, now let's get this guy transformed into his vehicle mode. Really fun and intuitive transformations on these, but let's start with the upper body. So go ahead and lift up the arms, and we'll open up this panel right here and flip out this little piece. Flip the hand around, rotate that in. We can expand this section here and then close that back up. And just leave this out here for now. Same on this one. All right, next we'll take care of this upper body. So come back to here. We're going to detach the shovel from his backpack. There's just two little tabs holding it. It's not that tight, to be honest. It doesn't really like stay there. Pull up on this. We're going to basically pull this away as well as detach this from here. We can get this flipped around. these two panels right here will come in and clip on the inside, kind of solidifying this. And then these two will flip around. Let's see, make sure this is tabbed in here. And then there we go. Rotate it forward so this sits like this, and then tab these into here to kind of lock the shovel around. Okay, so here's how it's looking. We're going to lift up on this backpack. It's tabbed in here, but it's really this that's holding it. So it's actually this panel is fitting in between two slots here. All right, so lift that up all the way. You can actually lift this up too. This is tabbed in right here, here and here. Come to the backpack. We're going to take this section here, and that will fold up. Come to the front, unpeg this from here, rotate this up. We're going to slide this chest section down, and then we're going to fold at this upper body section. You have to release this before you can do this, otherwise you won't be able to bend here. This peg is going to end up here, so bring this down. You have to basically put it in there and collapse it in so it sits flush here. All right, so this is how we should be looking. Next, we'll take the wheels and take care of this. This is an interesting mechanism. Open this up, flip down your wheel. We need this to end up rotating this inner panel. So you can see how it rotates. The arm actually is rotating with it. So we're going to rotate this so that we get this rotated all the way to the other side with no hole on this side. I couldn't get my words. This actually holds this back in place. You're going to close this back up. And let me just make sure I have this wheel. This wheel's on a slider. It should be... is it out this way? Yeah, I think it's out this way. Okay. Bring that up. Bring this arm down. On this side, bring this peg up. That'll tab in right there and lock the arm in there. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. Open this up. Rotate this so you get the blank on the outside. This will basically lock it in place. Close up this little peg. Tabs it in the arm. And this will basically fit underneath. And actually I have this one wrong. You're going to rotate this so that you have that part fitting right underneath. Okay. Now we'll pull up on this. So come to here, we're going to lift up. So on the inside here, open up this cover that has the steering wheel on it. Fold the steering wheel up so it sits inside the cockpit. You can kind of put it straight or however angle that you want. And now we're going to take care of this section. We're going to close these arms and they're going to tab in right here. So bring this down and tab in right in the side of this. So it looks like that. Now we can bring this down and there's two slots and we're going to open up two pegs. Bring this down and then clip it in to hold it in place. So that holds that down. You can bring down the shovel, straighten that up. Bring this forward, just get that positioned properly. And that's the front. Let's take care of the back. And the legs. Legs have some complexity to them, but still really cool engineering. take the foot, fold that in, fold down this piece here on the inside, and we're going to release all of this. So open up this, that releases the front. Open up this, that's going to release the back. So you can open up this panel, and we can open up this panel right here. This is freed up now. So we'll take this, swing this upwards and out of the way. Come to the outside, we'll lift up on this, rotate this foot down. That'll end up sitting back like this when you're done. We can open up this panel, lift up this little piece on the end, and then rotate that out. Don't close it all the way, just leave it open like this. This will come around, this will swing around, and there's a peg right here that's going into a slot here. So you're going to rotate this panel on this joint until this comes around. And we also want to get the wheel rotated down. So get the wheel rotated down, then get this around. And the wheel actually pegs into some clips on the other side of this panel. All right, continue bringing this down. And it's hard to show you, but right there, that peg is going in. It's a firm peg. So you really got to give it a push. All right, there we go. And let's see. This is going to rotate the foot. It's going to rotate so we have this panel facing upwards. So you can see the diamond plating that's going to line up with this. All right, so bring this forward. Don't plug it in just yet. On the inside, you're going to pull out this little clip that's going to end up in here. Bring that down and leave that right there. Then we got to take care of this back section. We're going to rotate this foot. You can close the little heel clip. Rotate the foot around. This will come down on the ratchet joint and end up right here. On the inside, there's a tab that's attaching this panel to this. So give that a little squeeze. Leave this open for now. And we'll line all this up. And this is going to go in here. That's going to go in there. So let's get that in there. And I didn't mean to do that. Keep that open. Get this tab in here. And leave this open for now. Leave that open for now. All right. Here's how it looks. Go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. I'll do that off camera. We'll be right back. All right. Now we got both legs lined up. We can squeeze it together. It's going to tab in. So give that a squeeze. Make sure this made its way in here. This made its way in here. This canopy is going to have two little tabs. You're going to come back and tab into here. So slide this back and clip it in place. Come to here. These are tabs that will go in at the same time. So just push down there. Clip that in place. And then these will clip into the back of the bumper. So close that one. Just make sure they meet up. Right. Some finishing touches. We're going to open up this panel. And inside here, you might need a spudger or something. But we're going to lift out this smokestack. And this smokestack. I don't actually understand the difference. One is maybe an intake. I don't know. Fold that down so it makes the little smokestack. When you just remember to open it before you try to put it back. Here on the bottom, go ahead and close those up around the legs. And the last step here is a very creative thing. I just think it's really cool. You're going to use this little tool. You can do it with your fingers, but I'm going to just show you the tool. Hold it here, push it down on the edge of the tire, and then hold here and pull, and it releases this really cool wheel. All right, so just do that on all of them. I'll just do one more to show you. Put it over the edge, squeeze here, and pull. All right, there's Deletus in alt mode, and I think this looks really cool. I love the little gimmicks they did with the tires. Transformation is just very fun. It does have the smokestacks back here, steering wheel, a little bit of silver detail. You even have a cockpit in there, like a little dashboard. Ladders over here. You have taillights on the back, red and white. This part is a little bit unfinished, but I don't mind it's on the back. It's okay. Silver on the wheels. It does roll on these crazy design of wheels. You can move the steering wheel up and down. The shovel is on a ratchet that goes up to there. You can also bend at this ratchet on the shovel itself, extending out. Well, they're fake pistons, but you can pretend. Yeah, really cool alt mode. You can store the weapon. So if you take the gun, make sure you fold up the handle into the bottom. And come to the bottom, you'll just tab that in right here. And now you have weapon storage. For size comparison, there it is next to the MP10 Optimus Prime. Nice big truck mode here. Works with the Masterpiece scale. All right, now let's get him transformed into combined mode. And it is a pretty fun and intuitive transformation, but there's a few little things just easy to forget type of things like tabs and panels. So I'm going to start on the back here. So go ahead and open up this panel, fold this in. On this side, we're going to open this up and then fold this down and hide that away. We can collapse down the wheels because we don't need those. We can fold up these panels on the little step here, and we can push forward on this canopy. You can lift this up. We're going to eventually end up folding this panel down, so might as well do it now while we're here. Let's grab this panel and rotate this down so it sits flat like that. And just leave that there for now. And now we'll take care of the rear legs. So go ahead and open up this, and we're going to detach the legs from here. So we got to unpeg it from here and here, as well as this side, unpeg it from there and there. And then once you do that, you'll see the ab crunch will bend. Come to the bottom. If you haven't already removed the gun, go ahead and do that. Open up these panels right here, and now we can fold the legs out and take care of this. So separate the legs, fold this out. You can basically straighten this rear section here. And we'll take care of this first. So we need this wheel to end up on the other side, and we need this toe turned around. So unpeg it from the bottom. This is like a very tight tab, this one right here going into here, like unusually tight. So just be aware of that. Lift this up. We're going to unpeg the wheel from here. We can open this up. We're going to flip the wheel to the inside. Then we're going to flip the toe so you get this peg on the inside. All right. You can go ahead and bring this back down, bring this back down, tab it back into where we took it out. Then we can rotate that forward. It's going to end up over here, but first we got to take care of this back section here. Oh, and before I forget, there's a little tab right here for attaching this panel. All right, actually not this. It's going to end up here on this. But we got a little more work to do, so we're going to take this. We're going to flip this around and tab it back in on the other side. Before we do that, we're going to rotate this. Then we'll tab it in. This will lift up and clip into place right here. All right, so here's how we're looking on one side. And I got this wrong, so this has to come down and peg in here. All right, now we've got this side correct. So go ahead and do the same thing on this side. I'm going to do it off camera. All right, so here we are with both legs mostly transformed. There's a couple steps left. We do have to get this panel right here fold it out. So this purple panel on the crotch, just fold that down. That actually fills in between the legs for the combined mode. I guess it's on an angle, and that's a change they made from the original. It actually folded straight, and if you watch Pig's video, you'll see that. Before we get this folded in and attach everything, we're going to take this. This is going to fold down, and we're going to straighten that up. On the side of this piece, you'll see there's some slots, and that's what those tabs we folded out are going to end up going into. So bring this down. Bring these pieces forward and start attaching. So attach here and here. This can fold in and fold up on the back. Back here, we're going to just collapse it together. This can also collapse down and attach there. Again, get these two tabs. There's one here and one here. Make sure this one made its way in. We can close these panels up and then fold that up. All right. So that's how that top section looks. Now we'll take care of this. We can unpeg this, which will free up this section right here. Just fold that out of the way. We're going to undo the arms. So open this up. And the arms obviously become the heels of the robot. I'm going to take this, open up this wheel. We want to rotate this so you get the 3 on the other side now. Basically, it's rotating. You're also going to take this, and this clip is going to come back and sit right here in this little groove. Don't forget to close this little retaining tab. That's what locks, and I don't have it perfectly straight. There we go. That's what locks the arm part in. All right, and then we'll take this, open up this tab right here. We're going to rotate the head 180 degrees. And this is interesting. I haven't seen a scrapper do this, but the head is now going to become part of the combined mode. That's going to go into the head. So bring that down and tab that in. So that's one side done. So go ahead and do the same thing on this side. We can fold this steering wheel in, fold this panel in. That'll hide that steering wheel. For this, we're going to lift up these clips here. Again, bring this back down and tab that in. For the shovel, we have a couple things we need to do. So come to the front, we can slide these teeth in. We're going to open up this panel on the back. And then we will take this and collapse it in. Also collapse down that panel. And then collapse these in and attach them back together, basically making the shovel smaller. These will fold onto the back of the shovel. Unpeg these from in here. This will slide down and then peg back in on the lower spot. Bring this forward and just line it up so that it sits on the ground perfectly. And then these should be all lined up. And there is Deletus in combined mode. It does look really good. Nice, clean, compact front. I like how everything, all the panels end up covering. Same on the back, does end up covering. This is different than the prototype that Pig showed us. I thought it was better when it was straight, but either way, it does cover up. Overall, pretty good looking. Articulation. You do have side to side here, forward and backward here. That I think could have stood to be a little bit tighter. It is tensioned, but it's a little bit on the loose side in my opinion. Ratcheted joint here. Obviously you can see this is where the leg is going to attach to the thigh. You do have articulation here on the not there on the shovel. So you can get a little bit of walking pose. Overall, it works well. You can take the weapon and still attach it back here. Just get it plugged in right there with the handle closed. And yeah, there you go. And for a quick comparison, there it is next to the Toy World Constructor and Shovel, their version of Scrapper. And you can see it is definitely a much smaller size in combine mode. Just like all the other Ocular Max combiners, they're going for the all-in-one feature. So this is actually the entire leg, right? The thigh, the knee, and the lower leg, whereas this is just the knee down. So from the knee down, it's about the same size as the Ocular Max. And there's a whole other thigh over here. So you can see it is not going to scale with other modern day combiners. Now, me personally, I'm planning to use this for robot mode, so it doesn't really matter to me. But there you go for scale. So final recommendations on the Ocular Max Deletus. This is a really fun figure. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I'm going to recommend it. Almost gave it a 5. But what holds this back is really just the paint, the lack of the paint. And that's not new. You know, Ocular Max typically doesn't fully paint their figures. But when you hold it up next to the competition like Fans Toys and X-Transbots, you know, it starts to look a little bit less exciting on the shelf. However, it's just such a fun figure. The articulation, the posability, the overall transformation, the engineering, the combine mode, everything just really works very well. And it's just got smart things built into it, really smart mechanisms. So honestly, if it was painted, I think it would really be the best scrapper ever. But because it's not, you know, I think that's why I gave it a 4 out of 5. But still, for me personally, these are going to be my robot modes for my collection. I'm not planning to use these for the combined modes. We've already seen the combined mode several times, the prototype. And while I think it looks great, it's just too small for my collection. But that's not what I need it for anyways. So I really do think these are, so far, it's a good start to their Constructicon team. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
TM Reviews. What's up, YouTube fans?